Previously asked questions from feminism. So let's start. So, what is feminism? In simple words, we can say that feminism is a literary theory or a belief that women should have the same rights and opportunities as men. Right. So, the very first feminist writer I have taken is Mary Stell. Mary was an English writer and feminist writer and a philosopher. Mary is remembered for her ability to debate freely about the position of women in society. She argued that if all men are born free, why are all women born slave? Right. Her advocacy of equal educational opportunities for women has earned her the title the first English feminist. Right. Mary Stale had earned the title the first English feminist. In 1700, Astell published some reflection upon marriage, a work written by Mary Astell, some reflections upon marriage. In this work, Astell argued that education will help women to make better matrimonial choice and meet the challenges of the married state. Mary Still said that education will help in overall development of women, so it is very important. And all women should have the equal opportunities of education as men. Mary Still, best known for her book A Serious Proposal to the Ladies for the Advancement of Their True and Greatest Interest, which was published in 1694, and it outlines her plan to establish a new type of institution for women to assist in providing women with both religious and secular education. She suggests extending women career option beyond mother and nun. Having never received a formal education, I still believe that women should be educated in a spiritual environment away from society with only other females. She felt the world was so corrupt because of being under male dominance that women should receive an education free of male influence. Right. I still argue that women should receive an education equal to men. Next writer we will discuss Mary Wollstonecraft, born in 1759 and died in 1797. Mary Wollstonecraft was an English writer, philosopher, and she is today regarded as the founding feminist philosopher. Wollstonecraft is best known for a vindication of the rights of women, which was published in 1792, in which she argued that women are not naturally inferior to men, but appears to be only because they lack education. Okay, so like Mary Stale, Mary Wollstonecraft is also talking about education, women education. She wrote a next important work, Thoughts on the Education of Daughters, which is also talks about the women education. Next feminist writer we will discuss is Margaret Fuller, who was born in 1810 and was died in 1850. She was an American journalist, editor, and writer, and she talks about women rights. Margaret Fuller was particularly remembered for her landmark book Women in the 19th Century, which was published in 1845, which examined the place of women within society. So, Margaret Fuller was also associated with the American Transcendentalism movement, and her work, Women in the 19th Century, has become one of the major documents in American feminism, and it is considered the first of its kind in United States. And scholars have suggested that this work, Women in the 19th Century, was the first major women rights work since Mary Wollstonecraft Vindication of the Rights of Women. Through her work, Fuller wants to message all the women that they must be educated and self-dependent and remove themselves from the men's influences. Right. Next writer we will discuss is John Stuart Mill, who was born in 1806 and was died in 1873. Stuart Mill was English philosopher, political economist, member of parliament and civil servant. Right. And one of the most influential thinkers in the history of classical liberalism. Mill was a proponent of utilitarianism, an ethical theory developed by Jeremy Bentham. Right. The Subjection of Women is an issue written by John Stuart Mill was published in 1869, and it talks about the equality between sexes, the men and women. In Mill's time, a woman was generally subject to the whims for her husband or father due to social norms, which said women were both physically and mentally less able than men and therefore needed to be taken care of. At the time of writing, Mill recognized that he was going against the common views of society and was aware that he would be forced to back his claims persistently. Right. Mill argued that the inequality of women was a relic from the past when might was right, but it had no place in modern world. Stuart Mill says that we simply don't know what women are capable of because we have never let them try, right? Next writer we will discuss is Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf is a great modernist writer, best known for her work like Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse. She rejects patriarchal honor and talks about the position of women in society and rights of women. She best known for her work A Room of One's Own. A Room of One's Own is an extended essay by Virginia Woolf, an important feminist text. The essay argues for both a literal and figurative space for women writers within a literary tradition dominated by men. In her essay, Woolf uses metaphors to explore social injustice and comments on women's lack of free expression. Her metaphor of a fish explains her most essential point. A woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. In one section, Woolf invents a fictional character, Judith, who is Shakespeare's sister. Woolf invents a fictional character, Judith, and his brother Shakespeare. Okay, like Woolf's, Judith stayed at home while her brother Shakespeare went off to school. Judith is trapped in the home. She was an adventurous, as imaginative as agog to see the world as he was, but she was not sent to school. Right. Wolf was further added in this essay that Judith was married. Although she does not want to marry, but her father beats her, then shames her into the marriage. While Shakespeare establishes himself, Judith is trapped by what is expected of women. She runs away from home, she was harassed, and she became pregnant. Then, after that, she kills herself. Okay. So, Virginia Woolf shows the suffering of women through the character of Judith.
बेस्ट है सर
आर्किटेक्टिंग स्पेशल फॉर यू बिरला ओपस अश्योरेंस देने के लिए
ऐसा क्या है इसमें
एडवांस्ड क्वालिटी 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे
वापस करके देंगे?
वो भी फ्री क्वालिटी पे इतना कॉन्फिडेंस इसीलिए बिरला ओपस अश्योरेंस रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर
पी टाइम गीलू मॉन्स्टर जब गीलापन ज्यादा टाइम रहे ये मॉन्स्टर बिग बिग बने और फिर रैशेस नया हगीज इंडिया का सबसे तेज डायपर ये सिर्फ 9 सेकंड्स में वेटनेस को करे बाय और बेबी रहे ड्राई हगीज
The next writer we will discuss is Simone de Beauvoir, and she was born in 1908 and died in 1986. She was a French writer, A French writer, intellectual, existentialist, philosopher, political activist, feminist, and social theorist. She was known for her 1949 treatise, The Second Sex, a detailed analysis of women oppression and a foundational track of contemporary feminism. Right. She was also known for her open lifelong relationship with French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre. The Second Sex was published in 1949, and in this book, Simone de Weber discussed the treatment of women throughout history. Weber researched and wrote the book in about 4 months between 1946 and 1949. She published it in two volumes, Facts and Myths and Lived Experience. The Second Sex is often regarded as a major work of feminist philosophy and the starting point of second wave of feminism. The next writer we will discuss is Judith Butler, who was American feminist writer and philosopher, and he was born in 1956. Butler works influences the political philosophy and the field of third wave feminism. The first wave of feminism took place in late 19th century and early 20th century. The goal of this wave was to open opportunities for women with a focus on their suffrage. Second wave of feminism took place in 1960, took place between 1960 to 1980, and it focused on issue of equality and discrimination. There was a slogan of second wave of feminism. The slogan is the personal is political. We have just discussed Simon de Weber and his second sex. Second sex is belong to the second waves of feminism. It marks the starting point of second wave of feminism. The third wave of feminism emerged in the mid 1990s, and it largely focused on reproductive rights for women. So here the work of Judith Butler influences the third wave of feminism. Butler is best known for a work Gender Trouble, which was published in 1990, and next work is Bodies That Matter, was published in 1993. Gender Trouble full title was Feminism and the Subversion of Identity and the Bodies That Matter on the Discursive Limits of Sex, which was published in 1993, in which they challenged conventional notions of gender and developed their theory of gender performativity. In this series, the next writer I will discuss is Ellen Walter, and she was born in 1941. She was an American literary critic and feminist writer. She is one of the founder of feminist literary criticism in United States academia, developing the concept and practice of gynocritics, a term describing the study of women as writers. In NET exam, many questions has been asked from Ellen Walter and gynocriticism. We will discuss soon. Ellen Walter PhD thesis is called The Double Critical Standard, Criticism of Women Writers in England, and was later turned into the book A Literature of Their Own, British women novelists from Bronte to Lessing, which contains a lengthy and much discussed chapter on Virginia Woolf. Next writer we will discuss is Helen Sixel. She was born in 1937 and she was a feminist writer, French feminist writer, literary critic and philosopher. Sixel is best known for her article The Laugh of Medusa, which established her as one of the early thinkers in post-structural feminism. It has become a seminal essay particularly because it announces what Sixel called écriture feminism, a distinctive mode of writing for women and by women. What is écriture feminism? A distinctive mode of writing for women and by women, right? Écriture féminine, that she says, attempts to move outside of the conventional rules found in patriarchal systems A creature feminine allow women to address their needs by building strong narrative and identity. Next writer we will discuss is Kate Millett. She was American feminist writer and she is famously known for her work Sexual Politics, which was published in 1970. Sexual politics begins with an analysis of the system of male domination in our culture and shows how it permeates every aspect of society. Millett argued that sex has a frequently neglected political aspect, looking especially at the works of D.H. Lawrence, Henry Miller, and Norman Mailer. Millett argued that these writers view and discuss sex in a patriarchal and sexist way. Now let's discuss some previously asked questions from feminism theory. So with the very first question asked in June 2006, gynocriticism focuses on, I have already discussed that gynocriticism was term coined by Alonso Walter, and here the right answer is women as writer. Okay, gynocriticism focuses on women as writers. Next question asked in December 2006, the term gynocriticism was coined by, and we all know the right answer is Alonso Walter. Next question asked in June 2007, which among the following is in the chronological sequence? Here the right answer is option number C. The Second Sex is written by Simone de Beauvoir and it was published in 1949. Thinking About Women is written by Margaret L. Anderson. Sexual Politics is written by Kate Millett and it was published in 1970. And The Prisoner of Sex is written by Norman Mailer and it was published in 1971. Okay. So here the right option is option number C. Again same question was asked, which of the following feminist critics used the expression gynocriticism for the first time, and here the right answer, we all know the right answer is Alonso Walter. Right. The next question asked in December 2009, the author of The Gender Trouble is, and I have already discussed about Judith Butler, and where the right answer is option number D, Judith Butler. Gender Trouble is a great work written by Judith Butler. The next question asked in December 2009, the earliest tract of feminism is, which one is the earliest tract? Please check the options. And here the right answer is option number D, Mary Ashton, A Serious Proposal to Ladies is the earliest tract of feminism. Okay, so right option is option number D. Next question asked in December 2011, who among the following belongs to the group of radical feminists? Right. Please check the options and try to answer. Here the right answer is option number A, Helen Sixer. Helen Sixer belongs to the radical feminist. What is radical feminist? Radical feminist beliefs are based on the idea that the main cause of women oppressions originates from social roles and institutional structures being structured from male supremacy and patriarchy. Right. Another feminist type is liberal feminism, a movement that believes all individuals should be free to explore equal opportunities and rights. Okay, and liberal feminists argue that society holds the false belief that women are by nature less intellectually and physically capable than men. Right. And radical feminists believes that the all cause of suffering, suffering of women is the cause of male domination and patriarchy. Right.
असली मैच तो यहाँ चल रहा है, भाभी ने डाला उस पर।
Next question asked in June 2012, material feminism studies inequality in terms of, And here the right answer is option number C, both class and gender. Material feminism studies inequality in terms of both class and genders. Next question asked in December 2012, which of the following titles set a course for academic literary feminism? And please check the option. And here the right answer is option number C, A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. Right. Now come to the next question. Next question asked in June 2013, all forms of feminism posit that. Please check the options. So the very first option is the relationship between the sexes is one of the inequality and oppression. Yes, it is right option. All forms of feminism, whether radical or liberal or material or cultural, all forms of feminism posit that the relationship between the sexes is one of the inequality and oppression. So the option number 1 is right. Option number 2, there should be an end of all wars. This is not right. Okay. Women needs financial independence. Yes, this is right. Option number 3 is right. Women need financial independence. And all men are prone to violence. It is not right. So option number 1 and 3 is right. So here the right answer is option number C. Okay. The next question is, who is the author of Mary and the Unfinished The Wrongs of Women? And here the right answer is option number A, Mary Wollstonecraft. Next question asked in September 2013, two pioneer feminist tract, Sexual Politics and the Feminiism, were published in. And here we all know the right answer is option number C, 1970. Okay, the Feminiism and Sexual Politics both published in 1970. Next question asked in December 2014, who from among the following has not been discussed by Simone de Beauvoir in The Myth of Women in Five Others in the Second Sex? And here the right answer is option number D, Kafka. All three are discussed except Kafka. Okay. Next question asked in December 2014, while foregrounding the marginal presence of women in history in a room of one's own, Virginia Woolf refers to. And here the right answer is option number B, Trevelyan, History of England. Right. Next question asked in December 2014, two among the following critics have dealt with the reproduction of motherhood in feminist theory. And here the right answer is option number C, Nancy and Carol Gilligan. Both are the critics who have dealt with the reproduction of motherhood in feminist theory. Okay, so here the right answer is option number C, Nancy and Carol Gilligan. Next question asked in June 2015, the label material feminism refers to the works of those who study inequality in terms of, and we have already discussed such questions also asked in previously exam. So here the right answer is option number C, both gender and class differences. Okay. The next question asked in June 2015, which of the following is not a feminist novel? And here the right answer is Bani Vasu, The Enemy Within. Okay. All three are feminist novel except option number D, Bani Vasu, The Enemy Within. As Purna Devi Suvarnlata, Rajam Krishnan, Lamps in Whirlpool, and Chudamani Raghavan's Yamini, all are feminist novel except Bani Basu, The Enemy Within. Right. So here the right answer is option number D, Bani Basu, The Enemy Within. Next question asked in December 2015, yet it is masculine value that prevail, observed a famous writer speaking cruelly. She continues, football and sports are important, the worship of fashion, the buying of clothes trivial. Name the author and the text. Here, the right answer is option number C, Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own. Right. Next question asked in June 2015. This was a path breaking feminist essay written in the 1970s, which used hybrid terms like sex and cosmos. Identify the authors. And here, the right answer is option number B, Helen Sixer. Next question asked in July 2016. Which of the following does not describe some of the practice beliefs of feminist literary criticism? Which one will be the right answer? Please check the option. Option number A, feminist criticism recuperates female writers ignored by the canon. This is right. Next is feminist literary critics offers a criticism of the construction of gender. It is also right. Feminist literary critics argue that the traditional canon is justified. It is not right. Option number D, feminist literary critics mostly reject the essentializing of male and female. It is right. So option number C is the right answer. Option number C does not describe some of the practice beliefs of feminist literary criticism. Right. Feminist literary critics argue that the traditional canon is justified. It is not right. Okay. So here the right answer is option number C. Next question asked in January 2017. Identify the gynocritics in the following list. Please check the option and try to answer. Here the right answer is option number Alan Walter and Sandra Gilbert. Okay, 2 and 3. So right answer is option number 3. Okay. Next question asked in December 2019. Which two of the following statements are applicable to feminist criticism? So option number A, recuperate the female writers ignored by the canon. Okay, it is applicable to feminist criticism. And option number D, mostly reject the essentializing of male and female. It is also applicable. Okay, so here the right answer is option number 3, A and D. Hope this video was helpful for you all. So please like, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get latest notification, and stay with Archana@jrf.in. Thank you.